Well, there's no doubt that the past 6 months have been challenging overall. I and our team are pretty grateful to be in the position we're in. Certainly, some of our clients and as such our business took a hit in the first few months of COVID, but we've always been quite diversified by design. So this has allowed us to maintain a steady roster of clients who were actually leaning into the opportunities created for them in this rapid period of digital transformation. One of the core values here at Major Tom is to have an adaptable attitude, and the team has had that value on full display over the past couple of quarters. Moving into complete remote work and now a slightly more mixed environment, everyone's really rolled with the punches and changed their habits and processes to make it work. What's next for us and the agency? Continued growth, hopefully. We're starting to see the business world emerge from a bit of a holding pattern over the summer and make plans for 2021 in this new low-touch economy. It's exciting to be a part of those planning sessions and starting to determine how best to facilitate growth for our clients as their business models continue to evolve. So there's been a number of challenges over this whole first part of the pandemic, and the advice I would give is actually not my own advice. It's a quote that's been updated and attributed to a number of different historical figures over time. But I keep coming back to the idea that no plan survives first contact with the enemy. We did not have global pandemic and economic recession on our 2020 bingo card. But effective plans are, in my opinion, a series of adaptations to the environment in which they exist. So for us, the main challenges were, an immediate drop in net new business and numerous changes in the pre-existing plans of our current clients. In order to facilitate new business coming in, we made the decision to double down on our own marketing efforts rather than going into wait and see mode. We produced more content, including webinars with Facebook and Amazon and Salesforce in the last 6 months than we had in the previous year. We saw an immediate uptick in the amount of companies reaching out to discuss how we could help them implement similar strategies in what a lot of people were seeing as a more conservative period. In regard to changes in our client strategies, we did what I think any agency partner should be doing regularly. We got in front of them as soon as possible and started asking questions and listening. We realized that many of our plans, to reference the earlier quote, had not survived first contact with this enemy, and we needed to ideate and iterate on those plans pretty rapidly. My advice to anyone who's facing similar issues at this time is to not wait. When dramatic change happens, you need to respond, even if it's incrementally. Some version of a new plan is better than waiting to see if a dead plan is going to come back to life. So when I think about how we've been able to manage this change to working remotely, with more video calls and not as many in-person meetings, luckily for us, our clients are quite digitally and tech savvy, so there really hasn't been that much of a learning curve. That being said, the one aspect we've really needed to continue to evolve is how we facilitate collaboration, both internally and with our clients. We tend to run lots of iterative, interactive workshops where we co-create with our clients. With the myriad of challenges of working from home, kids included for lots of people, we've needed to make some key adjustments to how we run those sessions. The top two takeaways that I would really encourage people to consider is that shorter sessions are really valuable, max 2 hours in order to be able to keep energy up, especially if you're in a group setting on Zoom. And the other main thing I would say is to practice empathy. Always, generally, but specifically in this work from home context as well. Not only are we in a pandemic, which is a lot of mental stress, but someone's kids are going to walk in, they're going to freak out, their Wi-Fi is going to drop out, a doorbell will ring. Just be empathetic to the people on the other end of the call and roll with it. Especially in a workshop session, will make everyone feel more comfortable knowing that it's a safe space to engage and create. Yeah, the top three tools that we've been using in the outbreak, a lot of them are things that most people are going to be familiar with. So it sounds like a silly answer, but Zoom, obviously. We are a Slack shop as well. and we're in Slack every single day. That being said, we've been trying to use an increased amount of automation with it that helps in the remote environment. Slack has actually been rolling out lots of new features around workflow builders and integrations there. So we've been having some fun figuring out how we can automate some of our own processes with that. I'll avoid saying Gmail because that's a little too obvious. I'll go with one that I've been using more personally, which is called Miro. Miro is an awesome digital whiteboard tool. I really miss having a whiteboard. So I am obsessed with Miro. I highly recommend it. I've been using it to help plan out lots of different things, including my Dungeons and Dragons campaign. So highly recommend you check that out. So when I think about the industries that our clients are focused on and how COVID-19 has affected those industries, as I mentioned before, thankfully, we have an extremely diverse client base that spans a lot of industries. Like I said before as well, that's by design for a couple different reasons. We believe that there are lessons learned in innovations developed in one vertical that can be modified and applied in unique ways to other verticals. That being said, we did have a number of clients whose industries were either positively or negatively impacted immediately by COVID-19. Obviously, travel and hospitality were quite hard hit and continue to struggle in the midst of changing regulations and public perception. On the other hand, our e-commerce clients have seen massive upswings in demand that they've really been able to capitalize on. Yeah, we're having a lot of conversations around, what it looks like for those companies that have survived the early part of the pandemic in terms of what it means for getting back to business. I do think it's a little bit of an oversimplification to say that companies are getting back to business, or what's the other term, into a new normal. But I do agree that the initial feeling of inertia that characterized the first few months of the pandemic is definitely ending. Across all sectors, we have really started to see organizations coming to the table with new strategies and new plans and new goals for their businesses heading into 2021, and a desire to work together to figure out how to make those goals reality. So being a member of the Digital Agency Network has been tremendously valuable for us. Dan provides additional high quality exposure to our profile and shared content across their social channels, and most importantly for us, has provided us with quality leads that have helped to grow our business. They're a really proactive, considerate partner, and we definitely value the partnership.